Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to this live stream with Gate-Away.com. Today, we will cover all the buying process and all the legal aspect about buying a property in Italy. And I know that this is a very sensitive topic for all of you non-Italian people wanting to buy a property in Italy, because I know that we also get a lot of questions when we announce this live stream. And we know that a lot of you are scared of buying a property in Italy because the purchase process it is said that in Italy is quite complicated, but with this live stream we will show you that it is not. And all the questions that I know you already have will get an answer. So let's get right into the subject. We will see all the steps that you will need to take when willing to buy a property in Italy, all the people involved, all the taxation, and everything. And we will do that with our guest today, which is the lawyer Manlio Gervasio. So Manlio Gervasi. Sorry, Manlio. So this is. Please, Manlio, introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Simone. Thank you for this kind introduction. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone joining us today in this live streaming. Thank you also for Gate-Away portal for event organizer for inviting me as an expert lawyer on this topic again. After the last one we made on last December. As you heard, I'm Manlio Gervasi. I'm an English-speaking lawyer at Legal, partner at Legal. We are a boutique law firm, real estate law firm, and we assist international clients in the real estate purchase process in Italy. Property taxation, inheritance and will, business setup, and administrative law. We have the main office in Rome, but we also have office in Ostuni, in Puglia, also in Sicily, and in Milan. We also have operative office in United States of America, in New York, in Los Angeles, and also in Argentina, Buenos Aires. Our main topic, our main legal assistance we provide for foreign buyers, foreign clients. We assist and help them during the entire purchase process in Italy.
So yeah, we can say you are the right person to talk to about the buying process. So Manlio, let's start with the first question. Who can buy a house in Italy?
Well, basically, all foreign citizens can buy property in Italy. There is only a precondition to verify before purchasing a property. Foreign citizens should verify the reciprocity principle. That is international principle recognized by the international community, on which states allow the same treatment and the same rights to the Italian citizen in the states of or in its states of origin.
So this is the reciprocity principle, reciprocity agreements between states. For instance, Italian can do in your own country whatever your people in your country can do in Italy. These are agreements between countries. Is that correct?
Yes, there are agreements between Italy and other states. These treaties can be verified at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website, Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs website. Okay. For foreign countries outside from European Union member states, because for European Union citizens, this precondition is already verified among and on the Lisbon Treaty on the functioning of the European Union.
Okay, so all EU people can do whatever they want in Italy as Italian can do. All EU.
Yes.
Okay. Outside the EU, you guys have to check on the Italian Foreign Ministry to see the reciprocity agreement between Italy and your own country.
Yes. Italy allows the same treatment and the same rights to the state of origin of foreign citizens.
Okay. So whatever Italian people can do in your own country, your people can do in Italy. And that's agreed between the countries. Okay, so let's see what's the full purchase process. I mean, let's cover all the steps that non-Italian people have to undertake when willing to buy a property in Italy. So I go to, for instance, on Gate-Away.com, I find a property I really like. I'm in contact with estate agents and I see the property. I really like it. I want to purchase. What's the first step? What do I have to do?
Yes, foreign buyers property in Italy must apply and must follow the Italian legislation.
Okay.
After having found the property with a real estate agent or through Gate-Away portal, and they found the property.
Let me just be precise. It's not either estate agent or Gate-Away. Gate-Away is an Italian property portal where estate agents list their property. So if you find a property you like through Gate-Away, you will get in touch with the estate agent.
Yeah, the estate agent. The buyer can make a proposal to purchase. The proposal to purchase is a formal offer on which the buyer intends to purchase the property and make an offer of the price and make an offer or formal offer of the price. If the price, if the proposal to purchase is written and accepted by the owner or developer or company owner of the property, is already a binding agreement. So it's already a legal binding contract.
Okay, this is important actually, Mario, because it's not the same in other countries. So let me come back to one point that you said, to make sure the buying process in Italy is the same buying process for everyone who wants to buy a house in Italy, either for Italian or for non-Italian buyers. So everyone who wants to buy a house in Italy follows the same buying process, whether you are Italian or not Italian. So that's important. And the other aspect, let me underline that in Italy, the formal offer, the proposal to purchase, it is binding. So I know other countries like in the UK or in the US that you can make different proposal and give also different deposit, and then eventually you choose whatever you prefer. Once you make a proposal in Italy and the counterpart, the seller accept that, you are binded to buy the property, and vice versa, the seller is binded to sell the property to you with the agreements you've made of the price, of the timings, of whatever it is. Is that what?
This is correct. This is correct. And we, for this reason, we suggest before making any formal offer to carry out due diligence on the property, inspect the property with a surveyor, and also carry out the due diligence from the legal point of view, a legal status of the property, such as mortgage, liens on the property, if the owner is the real owner of the property, if there are still the rights on the same property. So before making an offer, because it's a binding contract, we suggest to carry out the due diligence because there are penalties. Because if you pay the deposit, you lost the deposit if you would like not purchase anymore.
Okay.
This is the legal consequence that is important to point out.
Okay, so if you sign, if you make a formal offer, I mean a proposal to purchase, and the seller accept that you are binded. But of course, if there is something pending that the seller cannot sell the property, you won't lose the deposit. You will lose the deposit only if you withdraw when the property is sellable, because you withdraw from your contract. If it's the seller that withdraw the selling, then he will give you back the deposit and will give you also the same amount of your deposit.
Plus, yes, this is correct. This is correct, because if the seller or the developer wants to sell any more the property to you or the buyer, you should pay. It's capara confirmatoria, it's deposit.
Okay.
You should pay the deposit you already paid plus the same amount.
Okay, so for instance, if I gave 10%, 10,000 euros of deposit, and then she, the seller withdraws the selling, it doesn't want to sell the property to me anymore, he will give me back the 10,000 euros plus 10,000 other 10,000 euros,
yes,
for me to repay as he withdraws from the seller. On the other side, if you withdraw when the property is sellable, you will lose the deposit. I would lose the 10,000 euros I gave it. Okay, so what's the normal amount of deposit that usually the seller requires, or it is supposed?
Well, yes, this depends from the agreement between the parties. During the negotiation, at the moment of the proposal to purchase, you can pay a small amount of the price just for pull out the property from the market, on which the owner cannot sell anymore the property. It is reserved for you. And having, after the proposal to purchase, a preliminary contract, they give another deposit. But in normal way, is more or less the 10% of the value of the purchase price agreed.
Okay, of the
amount of deposit. Yes, of the
price. Well, actually, it's not the asking price. The asking price is what the seller asks. It's the price that agreed.
Agreed.
Okay.
This is, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Another question was is the preliminary agreement the same with the is the proposal? I mean,
sometimes the proposal to purchase, if all the conditions of the preliminary contract is considered by the law as preliminary contract. But we have to verify if the format, because normally the format of the proposal to purchase is provided in format by the real estate agency, and we should verify if already have all the legal contents of the legal binding conditions and clauses. Okay. If all the conditions are respected, it could be considered as a preliminary contract. In this case, you should pay the taxes for the registration. That if you want, you can talk later about this point.
The proposal to purchase and the preliminary contract are two different steps. Two different
steps.
The preliminary contract comes afterwards. The proposal.
Yes.
To purchase. So the proposal to purchase is the first step when buying a property in Italy, where you agree the price and you agree maybe the timings when you would like to go to the final deeds and everything. So you agree few things. I mean, the very first points of the agreements between you and the seller.
Yes, this is correct. After the proposal to purchase, if the final deed, for example, is for up to 6 months or 1 year, and the deposit is a huge amount from 20,000, 50,000 or up, we suggest to register the preliminary contract and ask to the notary public the transcription to the public registers, the preliminary contract, because the preliminary contract in this case is really binding also among third parties. In this case, you are legally protected, because the seller or the developer cannot sell the property to anyone else. And also, if the owner arise problem in the future between the proposal to purchase or preliminary contract until the final deed, 6, 8, 1 year, no one can ask or can put liens on the property, like, for example, mortgage, bankruptcy of the owner, bankruptcy of the developer. This is company. This is a really good. This is a good solution. We advise, if the amount is really huge, to register and transcript, request the transcription to the notary public. That is only the notary public can provide the transcription to the public registers.
Okay, so let me see if I get it right. I mean, if it's let's call it an easy sell, like, I don't know, a property within, I don't know, 100,000 euro, 150,000 euro, not a big amount property, which requires not a big amount of deposit, and you intend to buy it within, I don't know, 5, 6 months, 2, 3, 5 months, 6 months, then it's enough to have the proposal to purchase. If it's a higher price property that requires a higher amount of deposit, like 50,000 euros, so for a property that it is, I don't know, 500,000 euros on the agreed price or even more, etc. And then you intend to go to the final deal between 6 months to 1 year or even longer, then it's better if you do the preliminary contract, which you put on that preliminary contract already a few clauses of the deeds. So you agree more things that put in written than in the
Yes.
proposal to purchase.
Yes, if requested the transcription is like a public deed, because the legal contents are mandatory by the law and should be indicated. The title of provenience of the property, title deeds, when the owner or developer purchases the property. Neighbors. The other thing, the most important, is that request the transcription. That is not mandatory. Request the transcription of the preliminary contract by the law. Is also to be sure we don't have any problem, or that many problems may arise in the future.
Okay, so for your peace of mind, especially if the purchase is of a big amount, then for your peace of mind, it's better if you do a preliminary contract and you sign that in front of the notary, so it can be transcribed. And it costs more, isn't it? I mean, what's the cost of the preliminary contract and of the proposal to purchase?
Yes, the proposal to purchase only if the requisition or the condition to preliminary contract. The request is 200 euros for the registration. That's to the tax agency.
Okay.
The preliminary contract, if requested the transcription, is more or less 1,500, more or less.
Okay, 1,500 euros. That's the cost of the notary. I mean, the notary requires.
No, this is the taxation because of the registration to the public land registry. These are more or less taxation, not fees, not for the notary, more or less. Because also for this stamp duty is more or less also within 1,500. Also, we should consider also 150 euros for stamp duty.
Okay.
Plus this amount, you should pay also 1.5% of the deposit.
Okay.
If you register and ask the request the transcription of the preliminary contract to the notary public.
Okay. There is a question from Victoria. Does the preliminary agreement to be registered with the income tax agency? And that's why. And how long does it have power? So how long does it last? The preliminary.
So if you ask the registration to the tax agency, is not the same to request the registration transcription to the notary public. All the contracts in Italy shall be registered to the tax agency to prove the dates of the stipulation of the contract. This is basically what the tax agency, you register the contracts in the tax agency. That the cost is 200 euros.
Okay. Does it have a maximum? I mean, does it have an expiry date?
No, it's not it's not expired.
Because you agree the date when you go to the final deed on the preliminary.
The final deed, the terms of the date of the stipulation of the final deed, you indicate that it is mandatory to indicate the terms of the final deed. Because if you don't indicate
2 or 3 years, for instance, if the seller agrees that, of course.
Yeah, absolutely yes. Absolutely,
say, no, I don't want to wait all that time to sell you the property. But if he agrees, then it can be also within years.
Yes, absolutely yes.
Of course, he won't accept anyway. But anyway, legally, it can be. It can be. Okay, so after the preliminary contract, what happens? And let's say, let's say that it is, as we said, it is not mandatory to go through the preliminary contract. As we said, if it's an easy sale, if the amount, the deposit is not that big, and
it's not a huge amount.
Within a short time, we can be 6 months. But we are just giving guidelines. It is not mandatory, everything that we are saying. You cannot, I mean, you are not binded to go through the preliminary contract. You can do the purchase proposal to purchase and then go to the final deed. So you can skip the preliminary contract.
That's why, for example, the preliminary contract, for example, if the owner or seller needs time, no? If, for example, the seller needs to get a mortgage, or the owner needs time to provide some legal documentation, and needs time to approve everything by the municipality. For example, you need some time to stipulate a preliminary contract. But if there is no big issue, the negotiation is simple. You can directly go in 4-6 months to the public final deed in front of the notary public.
Okay.
And
So, go ahead. Sorry, finish.
No, you can go directly to the public final deed in front of the notary public, and you can stipulate the final deed. And once you sign in front of the notary public, you become basically the owner of the property.
Okay. So,
but yeah,
after the preliminary contract, if you do that, you go in front of the notary. So we are on the final deed. What happens?
Yeah.
What
yes.
do we have to do? What kind of documents do we have to have and how does it work? Everything.
The documentation to provide for the final deed is huge. Most of the documentation must be provided by the seller or the developer, that must provide to the public notary or to the notary public all the documentation.
Okay.
The buyer shall only need to have the codice fiscale, that is tax identification number, fiscal codes, that can request on the Italian consulate abroad, or ask services to some companies in Italy that provide you with tax agency your fiscal code. That is mandatory at the moment of the final deed. Also, at the moment of the final deed, the buyer shall declare, must declare, his marital status, if married or not, also with the regime of marital status, if it's separation of property or the division of property, for example, also their residency and place of residence, and also indicate a fiscal domicile in Italy.
Okay. So
this is legally the documentation, what the buyer has to do, basically.
So you say once in front of the notary to the final deed, the amount of documents is huge, but most of parts are from the seller part. He has to provide documents of the property, documents of how and when he purchased and everything. So most of the documents at this time, it is done. It is carried out from the seller, the notary, and everything. What you have to go to the final deed is the fiscal code. You must have it on the date of the purchase. So you don't need it up front. You don't need it from the proposal of purchase or the preliminary.
It's not mandatory.
It is not mandatory to have the fiscal code on that point, but you must have it on the date of the final deed.
The preliminary contract, if the request, the transcription of the preliminary contract is mandatory of the fiscal code.
Okay.
Otherwise, not.
Okay, if you want to transcribe the preliminary contract in front of the notary, then you must have the fiscal code already at that point. If you don't want to do, or if you don't pass through the preliminary contract, or you don't want to transcribe that, you don't need the fiscal code at that point, but you will need it at the date of the final deed. Okay, and then your marital status, if you're married, and
or single, you have to declare in any case.
Anyway, okay, and that's what you say. So, and what about the payment?
The payment is
an Italian bank account.
The payment is the most important thing, because according to the Italian law, all the payment should be traceable. Should be by check cashier, by normal check, or by wire transfer.
Okay, so you cannot go with a suitcase full of banknotes. No,
absolutely not, because now the Italian law is really stringent from this point of view. It only allows only traceable payment that you should pay at the moment of the final deed. But also at the moment of the final deed, you declare also the previous payment you already made to the owner or to the developer. At the moment of the final deed, you should pay the amount that the owner or the developer wants at the same time of the final deed, not a day after or 1 month after. Normally, in 90% of the case, you should pay at the moment of the final deed. If you pay in advance, you have to trust of the owner or of the developer, because at the moment of the final deed, they can not be present at the moment of final deed or can disappear. So you lose the money for this. You can pay. You don't need to have a bank account. It's not mandatory, because also according to Italian law, you can deposit the amount on the escrow account of to the notary public. Or if you engage a lawyer, you can pay on the escrow account of the lawyer, and if the lawyer is provided with power of attorney, also can sign the final deed on your behalf.
Okay, so you must check up front if the notary or the lawyer, if you have a lawyer, or anyone in the process has an escrow account where you can give the deposit.
Yeah, because at the moment of the final deed, with the escrow account, for example, for the lawyer, you can pay with the cashier's check that is immediately given to the developer. The developer or the owner can the next day can already go to the bank, exchange the check that is already on the balance.
You need an Italian bank account to provide a cashier check. Is that correct?
This is correct. If you need, yes, this is correct.
So it is either escrow account. You don't need an Italian bank account, but you need an escrow account to send the money to, or you must have an Italian bank account to issue a cashier check for the payment.
Yes, it's also a good suggestion could be that to use the escrow account of the notary public that pays the owner or the developer only once the final deed is registered and that is transcribed to the public register, and pay only at this time the owner or the developer. So you are 100% sure that nothing happened on the property during this period.
Okay, there is a question, so let's make a step back. Is deposit check made to seller? So we are talking about the proposal to purchase when we give the deposit amount.
Well, basically, if there is a real estate agent, you can deposit the check to the real estate agent. And once the offer, the price offered is accepted by the owner, the real estate agent gives the check, the deposit to the owner.
Okay, so the name on the check must be the seller name, but you provide, you give physically the check on the estate agent.
Yeah.
He keeps the estate agent keeps the check safe until the seller agrees with the proposal to purchase and signs it. Once he signs it, the seller becomes the owner of the check, and he can put it deposit on his bank account. But usually, it's the state agent.
At the moment of the proposal, does not become owner of the property.
No. The seller becomes owner of the check.
Okay.
of the deposit. So the deposit is his own. Then, if he withdraws, he has to give you back the money plus the same amount. It's the seller, as we said before. So let's jump back forward where we were talking about. So we paid we covered the how to send the money. So either a cash or a check, if you have an Italian bank account, or an escrow, or a deposit account. An escrow account to the notary.
Notary, basically, or lawyer.
Do every notary has a escrow account, or they might not have it?
All the notaries have the escrow account.
Okay.
Provided by the last lottery of 2017, that you can use an escrow account that is guaranteed by the law. No one can touch the money on the escrow account of the notary. It is really sure that all the transactions certainly guaranteed.
Okay. So after the final deed is signed, you get the keys of your home.
Yes, but you also pay the taxation. We are happy to become more in our beautiful country, but fiscal imposition are also to be paid also in Italy.
Okay, of course, as everywhere in the world. So let's see how much taxes, how much does it cost I mean, we saw all the steps before, like 200 euros if you want, when you deposit the preliminary contract, or 1,500 euros if you transcript out with the notary and everything. But once you buy the property, what taxes are involved?
Yes, the amount of
We're
tax.
talking about the taxes of buying a property. We're not talking about all the taxes to maintain the property and year by year. So just when you buy the property.
Yes, the amount of tax the buyer has to pay on Italy purchase process depends of many situations. If the buyer buys the property as prime first home in Italy or second home in Italy, and also if you buy by a private owner or a company that has the VAT number. So this is change the imposition of at the moment that the taxes to be paid at the moment of the final deed.
So there are a few differences in the taxes, if I can recap what you just said. It's whether you want to use this property as your prime home or as a second home. That makes a different taxation. And whether you buy it from a private seller or from a company or the developer. When we say buying from a private seller, doesn't mean that you buy it without the estate agents. Even if you use an estate agent, but the owner of the property is a private, we are talking about a private seller. Or if the owner of the property who sells the property is a company or it is the developer, it makes the difference. Okay.
Yes. So, yes.
Let's say you buy it as from a private seller, and
so
you use it as a prime home. What's the amount of taxes?
If you buy by private first home in Italy, prima casa, you are entitled to.
It's not your first home numerically, your first home that you buy. It is where you put the residency. Okay.
Yes, so this is where you put. Yes, it is where you have to put the residency that you must declare at the moment of the final deed. That you have to move within 18 months from the final deed, for the day of the final deed. The taxes to be paid are, if you buy for your first home in Italy, you should pay. If you buy from a private person, individual, you pay 2% of the cadastral value.
Okay. Which is not the actual value that you pay the property.
Is not the value of the property. In this case, only for the normal houses. If the luxury homes, the taxes to be paid are higher, but more or less is 10%.
Okay.
You have to pay also land registry tax, 50 euros, cadastral tax, 50 euros. This is a flat tax that you should pay at the same time. If you buy by company or by a developer, you buy as always as your first home, you have to move the residency. The developer has a VAT number. You pay 4% of the value of the purchase.
Okay, which is the VAT. You pay VAT if you buy from a developer.
You pay VAT
from a company. You pay 4%.
Only the VAT.
Okay, VAT from exactly. You don't pay other. VAT is a tax actually, so but it's a different tax. You only pay the VAT 4% if you buy directly from the builder or from a company. Okay, if the owner of the property is a company or you buy it from the developer. So 2% of the value that we have to say it's usually a lot less than the actual value of the property. Okay. So it can be also if you buy a house of 100,000 euros, the cadastral value can be 40,000 euros, for instance. It's just an example to show you how less it is the cadastral value compared to the actual value that you pay the property. So you only pay 2% of the cadastral value from a private seller, or 4% and don't pay VAT. From the private seller, and from a developer or from a company, you pay 4% of VAT. If you decide
plus stamp duty at 200 euros and cadastral tax at 200 euros.
Okay.
Plus notary fees anytime.
Anytime for notary fees, that's whatever. It doesn't make any difference if you buy from a private or company.
Always notary fee.
Always notary fee. So
or the professional accountant, real estate commission, and the lawyer if appointed.
Okay, so let me look up. 2% of the cadastral value, 50 euros land registry tax, and 50 euros cadastral tax if you buy from a private seller and it's a prime home. 4% VAT plus 200 euros stamp duties, 200 euro cadastral tax if you buy from a developer and from a company, and if you intend to use this property as a prime home. So
prime home with the residency. Because it's important to underline this situation, because residency, you move also your fiscal residency in Italy, and you have to pay taxes in Italy if you also work abroad. Basically.
Okay, so you become an Italian resident.
You become Italian resident.
Okay, and how long, within what time do you have to put your residency in your home to make sure it remains a prime home? You have a certain amount of time. Okay.
Yes, you have to declare to the municipality within 18 months from the date of the final deed. You have to this time. If you miss this time, you lose this fiscal benefit.
Okay, so you have 18 months.
18 months
From the purchase date. 18 months you have to put your residency in this home. If you don't do that, if you miss registering within 18 months, of course they won't put you in jail, but you will lose the benefit, and then you will pay what you would have paid, and now we cover it, what you would have paid if you register that as a second home. Okay.
Yes.
Plus
yes. You pay the amount of what you saved in terms of taxes, plus interest, plus a penalty fine of 50%.
30%.
30%.
Okay, 30% fine. So let's say I should have paid like I paid 2,000 euros as a prime home. I should have paid 6,000 euros as a second home. For instance, just putting if I don't register within 18 months, I will need to give back the 7,000 euros difference between the 2,000 euros and the 9,000 euros of what should I pay, plus interest, plus 30% fine of all the 9,000 euros. Okay, so let's go to the second home. Buying a property from a owner, from a
private owner. Yes, if you buy by a private owner, you pay 9% of the cadastral value. Cadastral value change for every purchase property you buy, for each homes or villas in Italy, change every time. It's not because it's a legal, a difficult calculation. Plus, always 50% of land registry tax and cadastral tax at the same amount of 50 euros. If you buy as a second home by a developer, by company with VAT number, 10% of the percentage of the price agreed.
Okay.
22% if the luxury home. If the cadastral classification is a 1/8/9.
Okay.
Plus stamp duty at the same amount, 200 euros, and cadastral tax at 200 euros.
Okay.
Same taxation.
As usual, let me recap. So if you buy from a private seller as a second home, you pay 9% of the cadastral value. 50%, 50 euros, not 50%, 50 euros of land registry tax as a prime home, 50 euros cadastral home as a prime home. If you buy from a developer, it's 10% VAT or from a company. And stamp duty, 200 euro, cadastral tax, 200 euro as a prime home. Plus, you say 22% if you buy, the 10% becomes 22% if you buy a luxury home. But luxury home doesn't mean how much you pay the property. It's how it is registered on the land registry.
On the cadastral certification.
Exactly. So the cadastral classification that makes a property luxury is A1, A8, and A9.
A9.
So you might pay a house 500,000 euro, and that can be a luxury home if it's within this classification. You can pay your property 2 million euros, and if it's not in this free classification, it is not considered as a luxury home. I don't know, it doesn't really make sense, but that's how it works.
This is correct.
It depends on the classification of the cadastral value. It doesn't depend on how much you pay the property. Okay?
Correct.
Okay.
This is correct.
So this is the main difference. And there was a question. Sorry, there are a lot of questions. I struggle to read them all while we talk. But this one, so your first home in Italy, as in if I had my home in the UK and then bought a house in Italy, is it still my first home? Manuel, can you have two first homes?
Yes, it's basically first home. We call it from legal point of view, by first home is tax incentives. And you have to move the residency along with your first home, no? Your legal residency could affect also your fiscal status.
Okay, so you cannot have two I mean, it is where you have your residency, isn't it?
Yes.
So can you have more?
Yes.
So you can only have one residency. Either it is in Italy or it is in the UK.
It's only one residency worldwide.
Okay, so
basically, when you move the residence, the place when you must live for the most time of the year that you live, your fiscal imposition will be the place of the residency. The place of residency will be where you pay taxes. Also, if you have company abroad or worldwide, the taxation will pay taxes when you choose your residency.
Okay, so if you have your prime home in the UK, your residency in the UK, and then you decide to move your residency and make your Italian home as a prime home, you will lose the prime home in the UK. The UK becomes the second home.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they call in the UK first, or if there is this difference between first home in terms of residency.
Okay, in terms of
fiscal,
of course. In terms of residency. So to be resident in Italy, you have to spend a certain amount of time, or you can be resident in Italy and not live in Italy. How does it work?
You should live in Italy. You to declare to the municipality where the property is located that you move the residence in Italy. They will officially declare that you have the main residency. And you must, or at least, live in Italy for 6 months and 1 day. But during this time, you can leave, you can fly if there is no lockdown in other countries. You can leave, you can fly then for holiday. But
of
you
course.
can, if there is no lockdown.
Of course. Okay. Let's forget the lockdown. Let's not talk about that.
Forget now.
Yeah, let's forget that. But yeah, of course, you can travel everywhere in the world, but you must live in that house as your residency, like where you get your mail, where you get your bills, where you get, if Italy has to contact you and send you a notification for the tax and everything, must send it to that address in Italy, to your prime home.
Yes.
Okay, there is a question, sorry, this one, but we can still purchase as a vacation home. What does it mean buying as a vacation home? Vacation home is second home, isn't it?
Yes, vacation home is a second home, absolutely yes. You can have a vacation home, also carry out, so if you want business activity or enjoy your house as a vacation home. But it's a second home.
Of course, but that doesn't have to be put in the final deed how you will use it. You only put if you want to use it as a prime home because you pay less taxes, or as a second home because you pay more taxes, and that's it. But then you can do whatever. I mean, you can use it as you wish. Okay. When is a home qualified as a luxury home for the tax calculation? I mean,
yes, it's indicated on the cadastral certificate of the property.
Okay. What about inheritance? I mean, if I buy a house and then how do I worry, and what's the inheritance succession law in Italy? How does it work?
Yes. Under Italian law of succession, a person may dispose his or her property for time after pass away. Italian law can provide that you can have your will, testamento, or if you not have it, there is the succession is regulated by the Italian law. If you not have your own will the process will be longer. But if you have will, you only respect the Italian legislation, and you can choose who the property must be go when you pass away. You should remember that during also when you draft a will, you should respect a quota, that is a percentage of shares of the property that is mandatory that you give to your heirs, like your children, your wife, that you cannot give it to another person, or if you have another wife, or if you have another husband, but is mandatory by the law that regulates also in case of wills that is contrasted against the law, or if you not have your own wills. Italian wills, Italian inheritance is really quite complicated, so it's recommended to appoint a professional or a lawyer that ensure and guide you in the issuance and also in the regulation of your inheritance process in estate planning. If you have, for example, an Italian will, when you pass away, your heirs, you should verify if the Italian will is compliant with Italian law, and after this verification, they have to provide formal condition that is dichiarazione di successione, declaration to success, to succession, pay the taxes to the tax agency, and when you pay the taxes, your heirs becomes owners also on the title of the property owners of the house or the property of the villa or the building that you owned.
Okay, so I know
it's really difficult matters.
Okay,
because also you should consider that also international legislation, foreign buyers, in case of foreign buyers, it's a main place of residency.
Okay,
that it could be different by the law between the states. This is really general what I explained.
Exactly. I know the inheritance topics is very difficult and very complicated all over the world, not just in Italy, all over the world. But let's say that if you buy a property, if you become an owner, and if I buy a property and I pass away, and without not doing anything, the property won't go to the country, to the state, to Italy, but will go to my heirs.
Sorry. After 10 years,
if no
one declares to be the heirs, pass to the states.
Okay. But if your heirs and your children, I mean your heirs and your wife or husband, your partner declares that, then it will go directly to them. But you advise to do a will anyway, so you make sure that everything. But the will must apply to the Italian law anyway. But if you do that through a lawyer or a notary and everything, then of course that will be already done. And that's it. So if can buying a property in Italy grant you a visa permit? How does it work with visa? I mean, we say that EU citizen can do everything they want as Italian can do in Italy.
Yes, EU
so
citizen
let's talk about non-EU citizen in Italy.
Yes, EU citizen enjoy the free movement for EU citizens, free movement within the European Union countries. For non-European Union countries, citizens, this could be a problem with the visa, because you obtain visa and travel to Italy, stay within or up to 90 days, 3 months. If you buy property in Italy, you can be entitled to obtain a visa. It's visto per residenza elettiva, visa for elective residents. You can obtain this kind of visa Also, if you become owner of the property, or if you have other titles like rental agreement for a property and or rent to buy agreement with the property with the owner of the property. This visa for active residency is for foreigners or pensioners. They show and demonstrate to the Italian consulate sufficient meanings of financial means without, and that is the amount of 56,000 euros per year that they should demonstrate. It could be pension, financial assets, and they can obtain visa for active residency, but they cannot work in Italy for this kind of visa.
Okay, to work in Italy, they need another type of visa. But
for working in Italy,
buying a property in Italy can make you eligible to obtain this kind of visa.
Eligible this kind of visa if you have these conditions. Yeah.
Okay. What about restoration bonus in Italy now, especially after this COVID situation? The Italian government put this bonus. If you want to restore your property, you get 110% back of what you spent in restoration. And the good thing is also that you can evolve this bonus to the company that make the restoration, so you don't pay any money for that. Is it also eligible for non-Italian buyer?
Yes, the 110% restoration bonus that has been applied with the relaunch decree of the last year is an emergency response to the COVID-19. Also, non-resident citizens can be entitled to obtain these tax incentives. That means that you can transfer, gives your credit in terms of taxation to a bank or Poste Italiane, Italian state post, or also you can obtain also a discount on the invoice from the builder. You can also obtain this kind of discount on the invoices that the builder during the restoration work will send you during the works of the restoration.
Yeah, so it is a great opportunity for you also. I mean, if you want to buy a house in Italy and you want to restore
need the restoration. Yeah.
Yes, the important thing is that you make a restoration that looks on energy efficiency of the building. That's why they did that in Italy. So you have to skip two classes
classic energy rates. You can improve
at least two classes
energy rate of the actual property.
Of course. So if you buy a property which is in class G, which is the lowest, you restore it, and it must go up to class D, E actually, E, F, G. Okay, E, at least class E. Okay, and what about if I buy a house and I want to transform that in a business activity? I don't know, like a B&B. What do I have to do?
Yes, you can buy a property house in Italy, or villa, or convert your property into B&B or boutique hotel or a resort if the property is huge. In this case, you can open a personal business company, open your fiscal position with VAT identification, VAT number, VAT added tax to tax agency, and carry out business activity on the property. You should be aware of the foreign buyers should be aware if they open personal business activities, or if the problems may arise in the future with an individual company, you are personally responsible with your assets. If you open a new Italian company, a new co, like a limited liability company, the responsibility of any case may arise in the future could be only for the company, and not with and you will not respond They will not be responsible with your personal assets. This is a good main difference. So for that reason, we advise clients to set up SRL, Società Responsabilità Limitata, that is a limited liability company.
Yeah, it's like in the UK LTD.
Yeah, LTD, that like foreign people can open, verifying the principle of reciprocity as well at the beginning.
Okay. There is this question that actually, I'm a Canadian citizen. However, I was born in Switzerland. We are interested in purchasing a property in Italy. Are there any exemptions to stay longer than 6 months? That actually makes me to another question. There are a lot of people from the US or anywhere in the world that they have double passport, like Canadian and Italian passport, US and Italian passport. If you have an Italian passport, then you can be also an Italian citizen. I mean, do you have the same rights, or is it different?
You have to the same rights, but I can add you that if you are also registered at TAIRE, that is the registration of Italian citizens abroad. When all Italian citizens can register when they live abroad, to the Italian consulates abroad, you'll be entitled also to obtain. And also, if you live abroad and not move the residence in Italy, you should buy a property with tax reduction at the first home. This is a good opportunity, a nice opportunity for Italian or citizen with a dual citizenship. This is a good opportunity. And also for the last relaunch decree of the last year, there is also tax reduction for Italian citizens living abroad in terms of IMU and tax reduction on the property.
Okay. Okay, I'm going through a few questions. I think this one is about the 110% bonus, also available on new builds. You have to restore it, and then you have to skip these 2 classes. So if it's a new build, I think it is difficult that you can restore it and make it to jump it in 2 classes and on an energy efficiency. So I think that technically, yes, it applies, but then you have to move 2 classes ahead, and it's quite difficult. What do you think, Manuel?
Yeah, no, it's the same. It's for restoration work for the old autos. That means that you should improve the classification rate of the property. Energy classification, energy rate. You can jump. You can improve the property. But for the new builds, I don't think that this could be applicable for this kind of the new builds. No.
Okay. How difficult it is for UK citizens to move to Italy? Is it a bad idea now we have left the EU? Well, it is a bad idea or not, then it's like a US citizen that wants to move to Italy, then
yeah,
that depends. It's up to you if it's a good idea. That's of course with the Brexit it's more difficult. I mean, before you were in the EU, you could have done whatever an Italian person would have done in Italy. Now it is different, but I know there are a lot of Canadians, a lot of American people living in Italy, so and they live well. They are very happy. So it's just more difficult because of Brexit, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible. And,
well, you should be entitled to ask the visa for active residency, and like American citizens or Canadians or Australians, the same. Now it is the same things for non-European countries, citizens.
Okay. I saw there's a question. If you purchase a B&B, so the opposite as we said, if you purchase a B&B and you want to revert it to a primary residence, no longer a business, is that easy to do? I mean, if you buy a B&B, a former B&B, what used to be a B&B, and then you want a normal residency, then if it's a prime or second, that doesn't make any difference. It just depends on taxes. But how can you revert it from B&B to a private residence?
Well, no, basically, according to Italian law, if you manage a B&B, you should have the residency on the B&B, basically.
Okay.
according to Italian law. Yeah.
I think the question is, I bought a house that it was used as a B&B, but I don't want to use it as a B&B, so I have to transform that convert it into a normal residency. What do you have to do?
Yes, you can terminate activities. You should declare this to the Chamber of Commerce that you are terminate activities, and close the VAT number. And we should analyze all the things, formal things that should be done. But basically, you should communicate to the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, so you have to make sure, or the owner must have, the former owner must have communicated to the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
So make sure like that. Okay, I think we run out of time. We were supposed to do 45 minutes. We have more than 1 hour now. So I'm sorry if we couldn't answer to all the questions, which were a lot of them, and I can see them here, all the questions. And but I'm sure, Mario, you will between the next few days, I'm sure you will answer the questions from the comments. So if you didn't manage to ask your questions now, you can also keep asking the question in your comment below. Let me thank you, everyone. Let me thank you, Mario, for being with us and being so kind to reply.
Thank you, Simone. Thank you, Gate-Away.
To light a light on this dark thing that it is the purchase process in Italy. As you could see, it's not that difficult, it's not that complicated, but let me say it is very, very safe purchase system here in Italy. And please keep using Gate-Away.com either to find your home in Italy, because we've got plenty of properties for sale on our website advertised by the estate agents or private seller, and but also, as we already see, we don't only list property. We want to provide a good, reliable source of information about buying property in Italy. Gate-Away is the only Italian property website that is dedicated solely to non-Italian buyers. So if you like us, if you like Gate-Away, if you like our information, give us a feedback, rate us on Google, rate us also on Trustpilot. We are also there too. Go on our blog. I saw a few comments asking, can you put on written all the buying process? We have a lot of posts, a lot of articles on Gate-Away blog. Just go on Gate-Away.com and look for the blog, and you will see a lot of information about the buy process and a lot of other subjects about buying property in Italy, also living in Italy. So please stay with us, and see you on the next live stream. Okay, thank you very much. Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.